I'm in the village of Newton St Cyres in the south of the county of Devon in the UK. Newton St Cyres is the sort of place you just dash through in a car on the A377 as you head north. But if you do take the time to stop here, you'll find a very interesting and picturesque village and a lovely old church. The church is open, but there are people around, so I'll take some video inside the church, but I won't put any commentary on. This is to Eliza MacDonald, the wife of James MacDonald of North Berwick, North Britain. And that's up on the Scottish borders. And youngest daughter of William Wyatt of this parish, 1830 to 1896. She's a long way out of area, coming down from the north of England right down to the south here. A lot of them have this rather colourful lichen growing on them. It adds to the atmosphere of the graveyard but makes the inscriptions quite difficult to read. This is to more of the Wyatt family. And this one here is completely covered. Quite impossible to make out any of the inscription. This one's to Emily Grace, the beloved wife of Edward Petter of the city of Exeter. Exeter is about 5 miles south of this parish. A stone here to John Kent and his wife Mary Ann, and an interesting image here at the top of the stone. We've got an angel holding a cross, and in the band underneath it says "Thy will be done." Very nicely engraved. Also outside of that we can see some more engraving on the stone. Not easy to pick the inscription off of this one, but there's some quite elaborate carving here at the top of the stone. This stylized cross. This stone here we can pick out the names. Harriet, the wife of Thomas Helmore, then Thomas Helmore, and beneath that another Thomas Helmore. I'm guessing probably a son of Thomas and Harriet. This one here is dated 1914 and is to William Percival Wonnacott who was just 11 years old when he died. This one's very readable. It's to George Berry, born in 1850, died 1911. And then his son, who predeceased him, he died in 1902 while serving in South Africa. Not clear whether he was a soldier or perhaps a merchant or even a missionary out there. This one's leaning to the left. John Mitchell, late station master at Cyres. That's a very small station now. Trains don't usually stop there. It's just down the road from here. And on top of here we've got some very elaborate carving. There's one here to Jane Crump. Here is a war grave from 1918. H.T. Crump, it is Crump, able seaman, Royal Navy, HMS Cumberland. And nearby is Walter Crump. So it seems that the Crump family is a family of this area. The largest stone in this small country graveyard. This one is to William Cornish, 1882, Amelia his wife, and of their 6 children, Richard, Frederick, Eva, Mary, Lily, Frank. They're interred elsewhere in this graveyard and remembered on this memorial. A very solid table style tomb here. The inscription is hard to read on the side here, but I did pick out the surname Godfrey. This is Sarah Rue, aged 86, and her husband John Rue. He died in 1917. Both resided at Lake Barton in this parish for over 50 years. And beneath that we've got a couple of children. Sarah Chalice Rue, age 5, and William Rue, age 5. This one here is a very solid lump of stone, stylized cross, and the only inscription on it is at the bottom there, which reads, "Under the shadow of the Almighty." This is to the beloved sister, aunt and friend, Catherine Matilda Sandvelt. For 56 years the beloved and devoted friend of Lady Audrey Buller. Sandvelt is not an English name. It'd be interesting to know. It sounds probably Scandinavian. Anyway, she was the friend of Lady Audrey Buller. One here to various members of the Cook family. And then next to it we have the Densem, Maria Densem and Mary Ann, and beneath that John Densem Elworthy and Maria Densem Elworthy. By the church entrance here, a couple of memorials. Thomas Herring on one, can't really see the other one, but down here we have a small garden of remembrance. These will be for people that were buried or cremated, buried elsewhere or cremated. Near the door of the church are 4 of these crosses for people that died in the war. John Henry Magee, 1918. Raymond Davey, World War II. Reginald Meare, World War II. And Rifleman George Jackson, prisoner of war, 1918. Presumably they don't have actual stones in the graveyard. Their names were probably on the board we saw inside the church. Up here at the foot of the tower is a sundial clock. I see the date on it is 1817 for Edward Osmond and John Francis, who were church wardens. And at the top we've got the name of the Reverend G.T. Carwithen. One here to Hannah Lacey. Well, what's interesting is this image at the top of the stone. Very elaborate, very carefully carved. Nearby is this one to John Henderson, and again we've got some very careful carving here. One here to George Henry, leading seaman, beloved son of George and Jane Reed, 1929, aged 36. Leaning up against the wall here are four large stones. This one is Elizabeth Gay, the daughter of the Reverend Nicholas Gay, vicar of this parish. Another one alongside here. And then down here, another one. And as I turn round, we are now looking into the newer part of the graveyard. Beautifully positioned here with the hills in the distance. And we have the newer graves, and obviously still being used. And now I'm at the top of this small graveyard. I'm looking back at the church, and you can see the hills beyond. A lovely little spot. Well, that's my visit to the church at Newton St Cyres, and it really is quite a find. It's got a pretty little churchyard, and if you can get inside the church itself, it has some wonderful memorials. Thoroughly recommend this. Don't just dash through the town on the A377. Pull over, have a look at Newton St Cyres. Till the next time.